Hello and welcome to the first episode of Series 5 of WOT TACTICS. I want to start this new series with a tank that I like very much, but I haven't played very much because this tank is the Panzer 38 TNA, the Tier 4 light tank from Germany. And this tank for me was actually a source of a lot of frustration. First of all, because it was the first Tier 4 light tank I used, and I'll just stop a minute, because it was the first light tank from Tier 4 I used, and I was just coming from Tier 3, and I was just expecting battles on a light tank to be just a continuation of the kind of battles you have on Tier 3, but unfortunately all Tier 4 light tanks are actually pitched against upper tier tanks most of the time, and whereas now the limit is Tier 7, actually when I was using the Panzer 38 TNA the limit was Tier 8, so I have some very painful memories with this tank. But the good thing is, and it was also painful because I didn't really have a very well trained crew. I mean, they were trained, but there was no sixth sense, there was nothing. It was a really basic crew, and so instead of me spotting the enemy, it was always the enemy spotting me instead, so that was not fun. Anyway, so I've obviously progressed since then, and I kind of left the TNA, the 38 TNA, sort of, you know, I sort of left it there in the garage. I haven't really played it very much, and well, eventually I picked it up again, played this game, and well, okay, I'm top tier, let's face it, that makes things extremely easier. You can actually play the Panzer 38 TNA almost like a medium tank when you're top tier, almost, because you've got good armor and the gun is good. But because I made this tank more into a kind of spotting tank, because I've kept the stock turret, as you can see. I've also kept the stock gun. The gun is still the stock one, I believe. Why have I done that? Because yes, I lose a little bit of view range, but I gain so much in agility, and so I can do a bit more active scouting rather than just passive scouting. So anyway, I'm top tier on the steppies, and I lead the way. As you can see, I'm actually leading all the charge by my teammate on this flank. There's actually only 3 of us, and there's a Matilda way further back. And surprisingly, now look, the enemy is done a very strange tactic, I believe. I mean, we're losing first of all, and that's not a good start. But the main thing is that the enemy has decided to attack en masse in the middle. I mean, normally this kind of tactic on this map would be severely punished. I mean, you just don't do that. Usually all the heavy tanks, well, medium and heavy tanks, will go to this choke point and kind of brawl in there, and you might have a push on this side by the mediums and the lights, and other than that, there's a lot of long range firing with the tank destroyers and some other tanks in front of the base here and in front of the base there, with maybe 1 or 2 scouts in the middle picking up targets for the tank destroyers. So this game is already starting in a very different way from usual. And look at my teammates, they're all crunched in there. I mean, it looks like some of them are even AFK because they're still in the base circle. But the enemy has also made a mistake, because there is absolutely nobody on this flank. They left it completely open. So for us, that's great news. So I'm just pushing, as you can see, and we are soon very near the enemy base, and this is where I start to do very well for me in this tank, because I start spotting, and you'll see now in a moment I'll be bobbing my head. It's worth going on this map all the way to the bottom if you can, and then look what happens. Pliff, 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 pliff. There, all spotted by me. I couldn't penetrate that. There you go. Now, this is the incredible thing about this, is that nobody is spotting me. It's a shooting gallery. It's just a shooting gallery. There you go. 4 kills. And there you go.
Ricochet.
Oh, that was unlucky.
Enemy armor is damaged.
I'm actually aiming at the tank. You know, the replay sometimes is not a bit inaccurate. And finally I got spotted. Did you see that? I got spotted after my 5th kill. That's great. Well, you might think I'm a bit of a coward here. Well, I'm not a coward, because there is no point in me trying to catch up with the enemy there. There's a bunch of enemy here all by myself. It's going to be really hard. And at the same time, I was worried that they could actually capture our base before us. So I actually thought, well, I've done my bit. I've spotted loads of enemies. I did 5 kills. I did a fair amount of damage. I might as well just capture the base and close the game here. And I'm glad I do, because as you can see, the base is completely taken over. There's at least 3, if not 4 enemies, and they also go and cap. So, you know, it was the right move to do. But the good thing about this this battle is that it's probably one of the very, very few battles. And then look at the score, 10-10. It was, you know, it was really close. So I think it was absolutely the right thing to go and capture. But what I wanted to say is that this is the first battle where things go really, really well on the Panzer 38 TNA. And not only I survived the battle, which was a rarity, but especially I get ace tanker, and I also get I complete a mission, and you know, top of the team. Extremely, really pleased with this game. It's definitely my best game on the Panzer 38 TNA. It took a long time, but there again, I hadn't played it for a bit, and of course I was top tier. But it's just a nice example of how this Panzer 38 TNA, once the crew is fully trained and you've got skills, you've got you arrange your tank in the right manner, and you also make the right moves, it can actually be quite deadly. You know, 5 kills, it's not bad. Not bad at all. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching.